Good morning, South Park. Today is Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th, 2024. Hey, this video is being made for anybody that has been absent since we started these lessons. These are my notes up to date. So, the very first thing that everyone needs to see is that we have 10 possible emergencies. I guarantee you this question right here will definitely be on the test. I guarantee you. Also, you want to make sure that you know what the 10 possible emergencies are. There are fires, floods, winter storms, tropical storms, tornadoes, thunderstorms, flu pandemics, hazardous materials, earthquakes, landslides, nuclear threats, dam failures, and unfortunately, terrorism. Very first one, floods. Flooding is the most common natural disaster in Pennsylvania. Notice, moms and dads, that if it is in a different color other than black, we can call this color purple or lavender, it's gonna be on a test. That's a hint. It's gonna be on a test. So everybody who's been absent, please make sure you follow along. Moms and dads, make sure they know exactly what's colored so they can study to be successful on their test. No excuses, because all the answers are right here on your computer. And if you don't have anything, you're absent a couple days, all you have to do is look at my notes, which are available right here. Flash floods can happen very quickly or fast. If you've been in South Park for a number of years, you can remember maybe 5, 6 years ago when the Weather Channel was actually in South Park, where Route 88 over by the Trolley Stop Bar and Grill, that little restaurant, that whole entire area flooded. And if you hear noise in the background, this is actually during my wind time when I'm updating my video. The kids are studying or working on some work. And so if you hear somebody talking, they're studying their notes, or they're asking myself or me a question. So good to go right there. No matter where you live, you should always be ready for a flood emergency. All right. Next one are fires. Fires can be very life-threatening and under 2 minutes, and you can destroy your home in 5. A couple weeks ago, I think the second week of school, unfortunately, we had a fire right down in the center of library. I believe it was the dance building that was destroyed. So make sure that you're always prepared for fires. Make sure you have smoke detectors in your house. And unfortunately, the main cause of death in a fire is smoke inhalation. It's going to be on the test, which is breathing in smoke, not burns. And we've added in pictures so the kids know exactly what they're studying here. Winter storms. The National Weather Service refers to winter storms as deceptive killers. I know it's September the 13th, but old man winter is fast approaching. You can even feel a chill in the air in the mornings now. So make sure that you're prepared for winter. Just know that they're known as deceptive killers because people unfortunately die because of winter storms, because of traffic accidents. And that's why they're known as deceptive killers, when they have accidents on icy roads, which is right here also. All right, tropical storms, tornadoes, and thunderstorms. We know that tropical storms can happen, tornadoes can happen at any particular time. You don't get a lot of warning with tornadoes. This area seems like we've had a couple in the last, they've been more active in this part of the country. We had a couple hit, I believe, in the beginning of the summer, and they came through Finleyville. We actually could have still been in school, but they're right over the hill. They're coming through Peters Township, so you have to be ready for that. Matter of fact, at the start of school last year, we had a microburst. If you remember, we were off from school for 2 days because of the damage it did up by the high school. I know this one will be on the test. Thunderstorms. Moms, Dad, we Just did TH for thunderstorms. They bring dangerous lightning, one of the main causes of weather-related deaths in the U.S. Thunderstorms. Flu pandemic. The flu or pandemic illnesses spread by people that are sick. They're coughing, they're sneezing, they're touching surfaces like doorknobs, elevator buttons, and water fountains. Moms and dads, I've preached many times to make sure before everyone goes to lunch they stop by the sink and wash their hands. Sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't, but I definitely implore them to make sure they are washing their hands and make sure they stay healthy. Definitely want to test 3 types of hazardous materials or chemicals, liquids, and gases. This is probably the one that we spent a good bit of time on because of the number of hazardous materials that are in the area. We talked about East Palestine, Ohio, when the train derailed, and actually that train was heading towards the Pittsburgh area. And we also mentioned the railroad track that runs behind the sheets on Route 88. It runs parallel with Route 88, and I drive that road every day coming and going to school, and there's a schedule for the trains. There's one about midnight, one about 6 in the morning. Told you this is a live studio audience. Hang on one sec. Yes, ma'am. Yep, I'll send them down 2 at a time. Yep, bye-bye. Give me Liam. Go down to the nurse for your screening and testing, and then I'll send down 2 more when you guys come back. Told you everybody, it's a live studio audience here. See what else. These are pictures of East Palestine, Ohio, taken by a drone. We'll definitely be on a test. An earthquake is a sudden, fast shaking of Earth. And then we talked about landslides. Currently, there's a landslide in South Park on Piney Fork Road that we talked about. And landslides happen in all 50 states. I'm telling you right now, this one's going to be on a test. How do landslides start? Storms, earthquakes, fires, and man-made construction. Fires because the brush is burnt during the fire, then there's nothing holding the dirt down. You get a nice heavy rain. Next thing you know, landslides. This is mainly out west, Nevada, California definitely, parts of Wyoming, parts of Utah, where you have massive forest fires. Then vegetation doesn't hold the soil back and it washes away. Landslides happen in all 50 states. Damage from a landslide right here, we put in our notes. Nuclear threat, we talked about the Beaver Valley nuclear power plant over by the airport and what you have to do if you hear their alarms and the people in that area. So if you go to Beaver Falls, South Beaver School District, all the kids there know exactly what to do if there is some type of an accident or a problem at that nuclear power plant. And that Beaver Valley plant is about 40 miles from South Park. Dam failures is when a dam unfortunately breaks and large amounts of water go downstream. I told the kids this is probably the one they have to worry the least about, only because the closest dam is probably at Cannonsburg Lake and Dam right in McMurray. And that water, if that dam would ever break, would go and flow into Carnegie, Heidelberg, and Bridgeville. There are 80,000 dams in the U.S., 3,400 in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Right here's Cannonsburg Lake and Dam. Right here's a picture of the Little Lake Theater. Terrorism is defined as the use of violence and intimidation to achieve a goal. We really didn't talk about terrorism that much from a violence standpoint. We talked about the cyber threats and how computer terrorism can shut down power grids, shut down water pumping stations, how people have to be prepared for that. So that's why we have cyber attacks here. And definitely terrorism is a criminal act planned in advance. That's definitely on a test. Then we talked about be prepared at home, meet with your family members, talk about the different types of emergencies, discuss how you and your family will respond to each possible emergency. Discuss what to do when the power is out. That's definitely on the test. This right here, teach children how to dial 911. Moms and dads, we talked about how now everyone's cell phone is in your cell phone and you don't have to memorize numbers, and how in the good old days when I was a youngster, I'm 52 now, how you actually wrote down important numbers right next to the phone. Then we talked about keep important documents. If you have one, moms and dads, in a safe at home. And then we talked about some of the important documents to have. The important documents to have, they'll come up in a second here. The home emergency checklist, make sure you have bottled water, 4 gallons of water per person. That's what the state of Pennsylvania recommends. Flashlights with extra batteries. Cash, because if there is an emergency, your ATMs will not work. So we've all been saying in the class, straight cash, homie. Make sure you always have money on you. Can opener, fire extinguishers, and we all learned how important toilet paper is. From COVID, the Anderson family learned at any given time we will have 3 of those big, huge containers from Costco. I think there's 36 in a pack, and we have it every time I go to Costco. I get 2 rolls. My wife drive her crazy, but we always have more toilet paper and paper towels, and that's how I know I'm becoming old like my parents, because every time I go there, my dad goes, "Hey, there's extra toilet paper. You want to take some home?" So I'm slowly becoming my father here. Items in your safe we mentioned earlier. Make sure you have family photos of your family. Make sure they're up to date in case there's ever a situation where you have to give a visual description. We did an activity in class where I was trying to describe a student in the classroom, and no one knew who I was talking about because I was just using very vague descriptors. So make sure you have a photo. Birth certificate should definitely be in your safe, and always have a little straight cash. And your car kit, fire or flashlights and batteries, jumper cables, snow shovels, blankets just in case, bottled water and food goods. There's been a couple times where I've been stuck driving home. I remember I went to college at Edinburgh. There were many times we've had big snowstorms, and we would be driving home from student teaching or going out and hanging out at Mill Creek Mall up in area, and a big storm would come out of no place, and we'd kind of be stuck for a little bit, and we were always prepared, so we were good to go there. And your school kit, that's my responsibility, that everyone knows the emergency plan, fire drills, and knows exactly where the exit doors are. And that leaves us off on today's lesson, and today's lesson will be after an emergency, what everybody should do. So this is up to the minute. Today, like I said, is Friday the 13th. Everything is in my notes. And moms and dads, if the kids need a set of paper notes, all they have to do is ask. I'll provide them with them. And I will also update my notes when we're done after today into their Canvas. Hey, if you need me, you know I'm always available, 412 655-3111, 3105. It rings to this phone, and I promise I will answer. All right? I'm gone. Take care. Have a great weekend. Study, study, study. And I will not be in class, Mom and Dad, on the 17th because I have a gifted field trip to Oakland. And the 18th, I have another activity for gifted. So I believe the 17th, I'm definitely out. 18th, I might be here the second half of the day. But let's look maybe for a test, maybe on the week of the 23rd. I'll give you more hard, concrete date, probably on Friday the 20th. If you need me, reach out. I'm gone. Bye-bye.